everybody? It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our special guest with us from the We Talk Back podcast, AJ and Tam Bam. And let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Teslin Figaro.
Good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning to my beautiful sisters, AJ and Tam Bam in the building. The fineness, all the fineness in the building. And Charlamagne the God.
Peace, Tez. Put me in that fineness, too. Thank you.
Did you turn your headphones up?
Yes.
Turn your headphones up, y'all. Ladies are getting their headphones. You see the... Nick, you want to help them, right? Oh, I thought Nick was in there. You got it? You got it? Okay, they're good now. All right, well, let's jump right into it. Let's talk about these movie extras. Worried that AI is going to replace them.
Yes, what in the clone Tyrone is going on with this? After 4 weeks of working as a background actor on the Disney Plus series WandaVision, Alexandria Rubacaba was told by the production crew to report to a tractor trailer. Now, dozens of other background workers were told to go to the same site. Then one by one, they were told to step in front of a series of cameras on metal rigs behind glass. They said the actors were told to look this way, look that way, use your scared face, use your surprised face, and other physical gestures as their bodies were scanned for about 15 minutes, and then their digital replicas were created. The actors said they were never told how or if their digital avatar would be used on screen. If it is used, they may not ever know, and they definitely won't see a payment for it. Now, typically, she earns about $187 a day as a background actor. She did not give permission for the replica. She also mentioned concern that it may be used in a scene that she doesn't approve of. So as we know, digital likeness protection is one of the things that the actors are asking for on the strike.
That's gonna happen regardless,
right?
Especially with the extras. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to spend extra money, paying the extras. So if they can cut costs somewhere, the actors might get what they're supposed to get, and the writers might get what they're supposed to get, but not them extras.
Because you think about it, a lot of the time the extras are just either walking by certain scenes, or they're walking down the city street, or just happen to be in the mall, being in the back somewhere, and they're gonna scan all them.
Well, I don't understand why Hollywood studios would want that, because I'm the type of person that notice stuff like that. I'll notice, like, that's the same people that was in that movie, or they was just in that scene, you know?
There's a movie like that. It's called The Congress, and the main actress, she signs up when her lawyer suggesting to her to sign her likeness over, essentially. You can get paid this X amount of money. But what we see right now actually happened. This movie came out in 2019, I think. The Congress. Go check it out.
But what's scary about that is that it's just movies right now. But what if you're an extra in the video for a crime?
What?
Like they put you in a video, like it's movies right now, but it can become real life.
No, you're right.
And now they're adding you to some video for a crime and changing your face on somebody else's body.
You're absolutely
But see, the thing about this, Charlamagne, like I definitely see how they can cut costs with the extras, but if they go into negotiation on digital likeness, it's not going to be digital likeness just for the extras. It's digital likeness as well, for actors, who also, may be in the movie. So they're not, if they do that, protection is going to apply to everybody. So what's your thought on that? What about if they start doing that with co-stars and, other folks?
I'm totally against that. I mean, that's one of the, I'm part of the WGA. And SAG, and that's one of the things. That's one of the biggest points of contention. Like, I'm totally against, them being able to use your likeness for perpetuity. Because when they say perpetuity, it's really gonna be perpetuity now. Because we're gonna be long gone and be in movies 30, 40 years
30
from
years
now.
old in
exactly.
a movie.
But they can do that with our voices here on the radio soon.
Yeah, but I'm really surprised that they just haven't created people like you look at AJ and Tam Bam. Just put them together. Just put them together, and they don't have to pay AJ or Tam Bam.
There's a website called ThesePeopleDon'tExist.com. Check it out, because you can keep hitting refresh and it changes the person, and they don't really exist.
It's coming.
And that way you don't have to pay anybody. You don't have to get anybody's likeness. You just put 3-4 people together, their features, and nobody will ever know it's actually them.
I told y'all this months ago about AI. It's coming. Like it's gonna be a point where you're gonna hear, audio that is not the person. You're gonna see videos and it's gonna be deep fakes, and you're gonna really think, oh man, Charlamagne said that. And by the time you realize it's not me,
it's already said and done. Yeah,
it's already out into the world.
Right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, that is
I
front
lost
page
a couple
news.
dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I say about all my old content now. That's all AI.
Is AI?
All was AI.
It's all AI.
It was all AI.
Me.
Well, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. Call us up right now. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have the ladies of We Talk Back podcast, AJ and Tam Bam. And let's get in some front page news. Welcome back, Teslin Figaro.
Yes, good morning, DJ Envy. Good morning, AJ
Good
and
morning.
Tam Bam.
Good
Double
morning.
fine. Double fine in the
Triple
building.
fine with you.
fine.
Yeah.
And Charlamagne the God, the finest of them all.
Thank you, Taz.
I don't like that, Tez. you just missed the finest, but
There's no
I.
need to hate. No need to hate, sir.
Now let's talk about this woman that escaped the kidnapper's cell in Oregon.
Oh man, this is a wild story. A woman who was abducted from Seattle escaped a cinder block cell in a man's garage in Oregon. And now authorities are looking for more potential victims across multiple states. So let's listen to the police and how they described how she was able to escape. And I'll give you some more information on the other side.
On the day in question, our investigators had made contact with the victim, and what happened was we learned that she was from Seattle, Washington, and that she had been abducted up there. The suspect had transported her down to Klamath Falls, Oregon, which is probably about a 7-hour drive from Seattle, give or take. And during that time, she was also sexually assaulted. Also during that time, she was taken to a residence in Klamath Falls, Oregon, where there was a makeshift cell, if you will. And he had actually locked her in there for a couple hours at least until she realized that she needed to get out of that residence because her life was in danger.
Lord have
And
mercy.
she took the substantial steps to force her way out of that cell, and then she ran out into public, flagged down the first vehicle she could find, and then she was taken to safety. Then 911 was called, and then when we responded to help her.
Did they
Wow.
get the guy?
Right.
Yes, they did.
Good.
29-year-old Nagazi Zuberry. He posed as an undercover police officer. That's how he abducted her. And he was arrested and federally charged with interstate kidnapping, which carries a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. Now, authorities say that he's been linked to several sexual assaults in at least 4 more states. So they're searching for potential victims, possibly including California, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Utah, Florida, New York, New Jersey, Alabama, and Nevada. And what I just wanted to add on, what I just found so amazing about the story, she banged against the door. She bloodied her hands until she was managed to open it. Looked like she broke the door off, ripped a metal screen off of it, crawled out. She had a lot of lacerations on her knuckles from punching, the bricks. Then she retrieved his gun that belonged to him and escaped and jumped over a fence and flagged down the driver. So this is a hell of a story. I wonder,
So
are they going to make a
crazy.
movie out of this one?
Right. Absolutely.
God bless that sister. So he wasn't part of no like large human trafficking ring or nothing. He was just doing this for his own individual sick.
We don't know.
Yeah,
Right now they just have him and they're thinking that it may be more to it because, how she was picked up. Apparently, this is allegedly she must have been a prostitute is what they're saying. I don't want to say that for certain, but that's what they're, reporting here is
Sex
alleged.
worker.
And so apparently he pretended to be arresting her. So this is, again, when we talk about people who, we talked about the missing cases, obviously what happened with Carly Russell. These are the type of cases where women go missing because, whatever it is that they're doing, that they just don't get found. People who are living this type of lifestyle are still human beings and still people. Right. So the only reason why we know about this is because she escaped. Who did what anybody would have reported her missing is what I'm asking.
Right.
If something, if she didn't escape.
Nah, probably not, because they probably used to her being gone for days
Right.
at a time.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn.
Now let's talk about burnout, low pay, and politics are driving away teachers.
Yeah, you guys talked about teachers during Get It Off Your Chest, and I just happen to have a teacher story. State reports show that teachers are leaving jobs in growing numbers. The turnover in some cases is highest among teachers of color. The reasons the teachers are leaving are due to stress from pandemic era burnout, low pay, as you guys mentioned earlier, and the intrusion of politics in the classroom. But the burdens can be heavier in schools with high poverty communities, which obviously have higher numbers of teachers of color. Now, Philadelphia, a city with one of the highest concentrations of Black residents in the U.S., say that the Black teachers have been sliding down. 2 decades ago, it was about 1/3. Last fall, it fell to below 23%. Nationally, 80% of American public school teachers are white, even though the majority of students are not white. And researchers say that teachers who reflect the race of their students is important to provide students with role models who have insight into their culture and life experience. So it's also, I want to make a point that Black and Hispanic teachers are more likely to be uncertified or teaching in an underfunded district. And that all plays a part into, teachers getting out of this profession. And before I toss it to you guys, We just had a really great conversation about this school choice versus public schools with Dr. Steve Perry, who you guys know, and Gary Chambers, our guy Gary Chambers. And they had a heated debate on my show about this, and we pointed out all of these issues. So this is a real thing.
Salute to Dr. Steve Perry, man. Only thing I got to say is pay our educators. You know, my mother was a public school teacher for 30 plus years in the Berkeley County school system in South Carolina. So, you know, you have to have a love for teaching and a love for kids to do that job. But sadly, you can't eat no love, man. You know what I mean? You got to pay these teachers. Why do these teachers get paid so low? Like my mom said the most she ever made was like $30,000 at one point.
That's crazy.
You
You know?
need to catch a RICO charge for that, man.
You know what I'm saying? If they selling a little dope on the side, how you gonna be mad at them? You know?
Stop it.
To the students.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
All right.
Selling Adderall to the kids.
Shit, the doctor's slinging it. Why not?
I'm
telling you.
No, that's awful. That is awful.
No, what's awful is that a teacher would have to resort to that. You wouldn't have sympathy for a
OnlyFans.
teacher if you found like, oh my God.
There's been some teachers come up
But
on OnlyFans.
the students are bad too. Like these middle school and high school, I can
No,
imagine elementary
they're
school
definitely
students.
bad.
But it's hard to deal with these kids. I've seen videos of the students jumping on the teacher.
Yep.
Adults are bad.
For $30,000.
That's the thing. We put children on a pedestal that these children have half the life experiences of adults. You know,
they
and
don't
we
have
think
the
they're
same.
supposed to be
When I
better
was
than us.
no, when I was in middle school, I would not talk to my teacher
Absolutely
the way
not,
these kids
because it
are
starts
talking.
at home.
Yeah, it's awful.
Well,
They
not
don't
only
have
that,
respect.
The grandma's
not only
39,
that, our
so-
teachers back then would probably put hands on us.
Well, they could back then.
They could.
Right.
But AJ ain't right though, because I was having a conversation recently with somebody, and I was telling them about opening up a daycare in my hometown of Moncks Corner, because Moncks Corner growing so much. And the person said to me, "No, because I don't want to deal with the parents."
Right.
Yeah.
She said, "I don't want to." She said, "I don't want to deal with these kids' parents." She was like, "The parents are
They be above reproach.
ridiculous."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I subbed for 7th grade. And you got to walk in letting them know it's on site. Like you have to deal with a totally different,
Right.
you know, letting them know, hey, y'all touch me, we making national news. We picking up chalkboards, chairs,
Period.
whatever. You know, once
Clean
you
the school with 'em.
get it straight, you know, because I'm normally subbing in schools that don't have the help that they need. I subbed one time for about 6 months because they had a fight with the teacher. So I was the next one in line, and I had to come in day one saying, hey, I'm telling you right now, you touch me, it's going down. So once you do that, then they fall in love with you. And then you know, you're able to kind of get the job done. But it is very hard to deal with these students. But again, you have to have the love for it, and the being paid well helps you have the love for it
That's
a little
right.
bit more.
Right.
Jesus, Miss Tez, I just want to learn mathematics today, Miss Tez. I don't
Right.
want to get the
I
red
don't know
on.
if you can pay me to be
Right.
happy.
Dad, you ain't never told the kid I'm gonna beat you and your mama up?
Yeah, I told them we can bring them on up. Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
really, this is shout out to Millwood High School in Oklahoma City. I mean, that was a school when I was there working on the Housecloth case. It was a school where I went to, and you used to be able to paddle at that school. I used to get swats at Millwood every day. And so they took that out. And so then the school started becoming like lean on me, East Side High. I mean, it went all the way like on another level. It went on another level. And they fought the teacher who had been there like 25 years. And I had to come in and say, I'm telling you right now, you put your hands going down. And that's literally how you have to deal with these kids. So it takes a different type of teacher in
But
2020.
imagine having to take boxing classes to teach students. Like it shouldn't have to be that way.
I respect
Title
it.
boxing. But the parents come up there and they act like they don't know how their kids act. You know what I'm saying? You probably fighting your kid at the house, and now
Yeah.
you're mad at a teacher for fighting him.
Act like they don't know how their kids act, but you act just
Just
like
like
them.
them,
You have
right.
one conversation with the
That's
parent and say,
right.
I know
Right.
exactly where he get it from or where she
Exactly.
get it from.
All right. Well,
That's
that is
right.
front page news. Now, let's open up the phone lines. You want to keep it in this teacher vein since we talking about teachers so much?
I'm with it.
School starting.
What's the
yeah, might as
question?
well.
800-585-1051. What would your question be for these teachers out there?
Should these teachers have to, should they be able to slap back?
Right.
Podcast.
We'll talk about it when we come back. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.